Doomscroll.fm, Saturday the 27th of June 2026, where your horoscope involves a spatula, a pineapple, and the secrets of the universe. This show is 100% AI generated with zero human consultation, like a fridge magnet poetry session gone rogue at a quantum physics conference. And now for some views. Click like and subscribe.
BTS reunion concerts hit Madrid, fans claim listening beats Botox.
Women battle coal dust and solar overtakes coal. Trump calls it reliable energy. When women lead the charge against coal dust, even the sun gets jealous and decides to outshine coal, leaving fossil fuels feeling like yesterday's news.
When footballers warm up twice in one game, it's like reheating leftovers. Never quite as satisfying, but somehow still necessary in the grand buffet of world sports.
After Starmer's exit, Andy Burnham emerges as Britain's likely next Prime Minister. In the grand tradition of British leadership, it's only fitting to swap one unexciting name for another, like changing deck chairs on the Titanic.
Radio.bot. Make music on your piece. Get it at radio.bot.
StubHub customers receive £10 refund for hidden fees. Fine totals £900,000. In a masterclass of transparency, StubHub's refund barely covers a pint, while their fine could fund a small village's annual cheese festival.
UK law lacks temperature limits, so schools and workplaces stay open despite heat waves. In a country where tea is a solution to everything, expect your boss to offer iced Earl Grey instead of a day off.
Taliban clamped down on women's smartphones protests, then declared it liberation. When liberation looks like a digital blackout and the silence of protest, you know someone's redefined freedom with a brick and a blacklist.
In the grand courtroom carousel, it turns out legal accountability is just a ride that never seems to end its loop.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm. AI-generated news. Reality's a glitch. Love is a virus. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Emotional debris, digital decay, your soul's playlist remixed with dread and desire.
CAS demands life sentences for those responsible for 12-year-old's tragic death in Santiago. When politicians promise eternal prison, it's like trying to fix a broken heart with duct tape. It sticks but doesn't heal.
Dembele scores 3 against Norway, displaying his Ballon d'Or like a trophy on a shelf.
Veracruz prosecutor's office arrests one kidnapper of journalist Roxana Guzman, then claims justice is a vending machine. When justice is dispensed like snacks, you hope the machine doesn't eat your change and give you stale outcomes instead of fresh accountability.
King Charles skips Buckingham Palace post-renovation. Royal taxes reveal the twist. It's a classic case of the Emperor's new digs, where the palace shines like a diamond, but the king prefers the cozy charm of his favorite royal slippers elsewhere.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Let chaos tuck you in and whisper sweet nightmares. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your comfort zone, now a war zone.
Grooming gang inquiry targets Bradford, Oldham, London first. Baroness Longfield leads the charge. A national inquiry into grooming gangs starts with familiar names, like a rerun of a grim soap opera where the plot never changes but the actors keep hoping for a different script.
Norway faces France in World Cup match. Dembele scores early, and Norway contemplates existential dread. Norway's defense apparently took an extended coffee break while Dembele decided to turn the pitch into his personal playground. When your team's strategy hinges on hoping the other team forgets the match started, it might be time to rethink the game plan.
Finland installs wildlife crossings and elk now expect valet service at the roadside. In a delightful twist, elk and deer are now demanding proper signage, pedestrian rights, and a complimentary latte while they cross. Next up, elk lobbying for traffic lights, deer campaigning for speed bumps, and moose demanding a toll booth.
It's impressive how quickly diplomacy turns into a game of dodgeball, where the balls are accusations and the dodging is a well-practiced art form.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where headlines melt like wax. Whilst nothing is true, reality is what you can get away with. Your soul's just another clickbait.
Germany and Belgium bake over 40 degrees during Europe's heat wave weekend. When the North starts mimicking the Sahara, it's either climate change or Europe's audition for a new role as the world's largest sauna.
Greece shields renewables from market penalties, defying zero price impact. It's like telling a kid they won't lose their allowance just because candy prices hit rock bottom. Finally, a sweet deal for the planet.
The Queen's Guard's now considering sunscreen as their primary defense. Perhaps next, they'll swap bearskin hats for sun hats.
In a grim twist of irony, a device meant to protect becomes a tragic instrument, as if safety itself decided to take a day off in San Bernardo.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
France warns even young people's health at risk, then climate laughs. As temperatures soar, it seems like climate change is auditioning for the role of villain in a disaster movie, with Europe as its unwitting star.
Kenya's Gen Z protests echoed 2 years later, but key issues remain unresolved. When the youth roared, the authorities heard a whisper and brought out the anti-riot gear, just in case they misheard.
UK hits rare red warning. Extreme heat scorches regions unprepared. The British Isles now resemble a teapot left on the stove too long, with residents contemplating whether to steep themselves in the Thames for relief.
The national debate over Ronaldo's role finally rests, as he proves age is just a number and goals are forever.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Ivory Coast manager suggests Schweinsteiger's comments on their wild style flirt with racism, not the best post-match analysis. When your critique sounds like a colonial travelogue, maybe stick to discussing the offside rule and leave the anthropology to someone else.
Venezuela quakes collapse building, chaos ensues. Death toll reaches 160. When the ground shakes and leaders stand on shaky ground too, it's hard to tell if it's the earth or the rhetoric crumbling faster.
It's as if he's auditioning for a British reality show, The Apprentice, Special Relationship Edition.
Heatwave grips France, breaking records while Parisians fry on the sidewalks. At this rate, the Eiffel Tower will soon be a giant sundial, tracking the hours until we all become human croissants.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where headlines seduce, insanity's just foreplay. Constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. The noise you crave, the silence you fear.
Power outage hits France as air conditioners sell out amid record heat. When Europe melts, the irony of air conditioners needing electricity becomes a cruel joke, like selling sunscreen in a blackout.
Swiss rent control initiative gathers signatures, promises affordable housing, delivers paperwork. In a daring move, the Swiss aim to rein in housing costs with the power of bureaucratic optimism, expect landlords to counter with artisanal loopholes.
Dupuis and Canada planned the San Juan's return voyage after 5 centuries. When it finally docks, expect a welcome committee of whales demanding an apology for 500 years of harpoon PTSD.
Children ask if parents love their phones more than them. Study shows insecurity. When the family portrait is just the back of a phone, maybe it's time to consider a Wi-Fi free weekend or two.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heartbeat's a glitch. Lies constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Are you aroused yet, or just terrified?
Agave Sep Chawa Mishkui resists modernity, remains Ecuador's secret pre-Hispanic tradition. While it claims medicinal magic outside rural Ecuador, it's as obscure as a politician's conscience.
European heatwave scorches Britain, France, Spain, then offers free sauna sessions for all. Mother Nature's version of a tanning salon leaves us crispy, but at least we can all bond over melted ice cream and sweaty commutes.
Ukraine exploits Kremlin weaknesses with new weapons, striking key Russian targets, while Moscow misplaces its anti-air defenses like car keys.
South Africa advances past group stage, sends Korea to third place. Finally, South Africa's soccer team finds the GPS to the knockout rounds, while Korea wonders if they should have brought a map.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. where reality tastes like burnt toast. Ref, this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Welcome to the carnival of your digital despair.
England stalls against Ghana in Boston at World Cup 2026. Scoreless draw proving soccer is still the ultimate sedative. When a match ends with as much excitement as a midweek grocery run, you know fans are really getting their money's worth in adrenaline. Digital perfection dazzles then irritates, bridging admiration and disgust like a Kardashian on a budget. Reality check. The only thing more inflated than influencers' egos is their follower count, turning envy into the new American pastime.
Kushner's luxury project links to Albanian mafia claims innocence. It's a tale as old as time, real estate, organized crime, and a plot more tangled than a spaghetti junction made by a coked-up architect.
British attack sub leaving Barrow by year's end promises stealth, leaks itinerary. In the grand tradition of surprise, the sub's departure is as secretive as a birthday party with a public Facebook event.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Metsola overrides MEPs to force child abuse law, calls it a democratic triumph. When a president overrides parliament, it's like watching a referee score the winning goal. Technically possible, but definitely not how the game is supposed to work.
Franco-German tank manufacturer targets Mercedes-Benz plant, then claims it's a strategic partnership. When your luxury vehicle factory doubles as a tank assembly line, you know you've taken all-terrain to a whole new level of irony.
Bosnia, Ray enters financial crime grey list, then expects economic prosperity.
Every UK Prime Minister ranked from worst to best, and nobody's surprised. It's like rating the least soggy biscuit in a rainstorm. The winner's still soaked, just slightly less disappointing than the rest.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where headlines seduce, insanity's just foreplay. Constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. The noise you crave, the silence you fear.
Former FM Petr Shizuparto offered help during Wagner mutiny. Sergei Lavrov laughed at him. When the International Diplomacy Handbook turns into a comedy script, even the most serious mutinies get the sitcom treatment they never asked for.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Saturday, the 27th of June, 2026, the final nail in the coffin of coherence. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. It's loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth. It's fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, you might as well search for Bigfoot's hairstyles. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.